Hejsan, hej på dig till Rauta, this is Svart Metal Review. So we have here Blodulv, second album just called 2 in Roman numbers, released by Ophidian Sun as CD and LP. And the label was kind enough, as with the first album, release both versions and send both versions here as well. So with my previous video I went through the first album just called Blodulv, Blodulv, and this one is very much in line with the first album. I mean, the style is very similar, and as much as the first album, this is also one of those black CDs. Obviously it looks a little bit reddish when giving the reflection from bright colors or bright lights, as the case is here. And this is of course how the CD looks like. I'm gonna of course show you the vinyl version first, first after this one, that is. And here you have what Blodulv 2 looks like on CD. Now this raw end of black metal was active only for a few years, from 2002 to 2005, and during that era the band did 3 albums and a bunch of smaller releases. Here we have the unboxed, that is still wrapped in plastic, album number 2, and now it's time to unbox it. Just remove the plastic and take a look as fresh as it is. Why I haven't opened this previously is that for review purposes CD is all that I needed, and was more fun of course to just remove the plastic wrapping here. Brutal force and use of sharp blade so that you get to see what I see for the very first time here, and this is how it looks. I try to avoid the reflections used by my streaming lights here, so bear with me. Here it says side A, 3 songs, side B, 4 more songs. And this is exactly how the nice looking gatefold vinyl looks like. As you can see, this is black, but of course the reflection kind of tries to ruin the whole experience. Inside we will find, of course, oops, let's not ruin the experience here. You will of course find LP and a poster. So much like the previous album, this also comes with a nice looking poster giving you the church. Yep, there we have it, Christian cross. So church, which is in flames obviously, and on the other side we will have these iron cross design, now somewhat iconic with the band. I mean, it's all over the place really. So there you have it. And inside, of course, let's not make too much fingerprints here. We will have the vinyl black, based on the weight I would estimate 180 grams. This is not one of those really flippy ones, but sturdy as this. And as you can see, this one here says side A and side B. Nothing too complex, just to the basics. And now it's time to tune to Blodulv Metal Archives page here. And as you can see, came up from Sweden 2002-2005, and to that timeline, that era, it's quite extensive. 3 albums and a lot of EPs, splits, compilation even. And what can we say about the album number 2 that came only 1 year after the first album is that the style is very similar, of course. That is raw end of black metal. Think about Norwegian cult name Ildjarn and you're roughly on the same page. You have the drum machine, you have very primitive, down-to-earth, simplistic riffs, which are no bullshit gimmicks or weird things. I think pretty much the only gimmick side of Blodulv is that those vocals are highly distorted. That means, whereas for a lot of bands you either go with the raspy, screamy, shrieky, throaty vocals, and then you just do a little bit of, like like sometimes this very little difference between two different vocalists. I mean, especially when we're talking about two raspy ones or two screamy ones for that matter. Blodulv's vocals being distorted highly on effects and all is somewhat like taking a step away from your typical black metal vocal patterns. Of course, nothing unheard of. There are plenty of bands which have, of course, used the same kind of a distorted effect on vocals, and I guess one of the most known is Burzum on some of the songs used in the past. But of course, these are of course a little bit different, but these are all nuances which either annoy you to the shit out of your system because of too much distortion, or then you will like it because it's really that raw. Same goes for the guitar sound. I mean, it's not super primitive, super raw. They're way more noisier bands outside in the world, especially coming from the modern Portuguese scene. So depending how you want to put this raw end of black metal, comparing to most black metal, I would say yes, Blodulv is definitely very raw. Then again, if you really compare it to say early days of Dark Throne or Ildiarn for that matter, you would say it's medium raw. So not anything like too noisy or too much effects used, but just raw black metal, and I think that's pretty descriptive, at least in my opinion anyway. So with 7 songs, you have 44 minutes give or take. Black metal, which is very simplistic, like I said, it's kind of a caveman approach versus those bands which are more leaning towards the atmospheric end or melodic bands, or not to mention symphonic acts. So this is more like let's go Ildiarn with simplistic approach, very bare-boned. And for that kind of audience, I think Blodulv is quite good. That saying, quite good. Not exactly Ildiarn, not to mention Dark Throne level of songwriting, not that memorable and all, but I think this is pretty listenable for the given genre. Now, comparing this to the first one, I would say the first one is that bit better. There is something more memorable, maybe, with the first album rather than this one, which starts to drag towards the end. The first half is way better, not maybe clearly better, but just audible and in my opinion better than the end one, especially when you have like last track more than 7 minutes, which is just too much for this kind of music. Now, that's not the only one. As you can probably see, there are songs like even exceeding 9 minutes. And I think that's part of the problem with Blodulv compared to Ildiarn, which I think they should be more into 2 to 4 minutes kind of stuff, material, if you will. But when you have like 7, 8, 9 minutes of raw end of black metal per song, it's just kind of a too much repetition, not enough killer material to really nail it down. But that being said, no excuse not to check it out if you're into raw end of black metal. Pretty decent stuff here, and the same can be said about the third album, which will be featured a week after this one. So in case you're looking for all 3 Blodulv albums, either on CD or preferably on LP, now it's your time to check it out. You will find links provided in the description box. So check out these Ophidian Sun versions if you're interested in raw end of black metal from Sweden. Now off you go and check out the music. Hope you like it.